If it's Friday night, oh, yes, it is. Strictly Sports NFL Friday. Hello, friends. It's Anthony Floyer here with you for another jam-packed edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday. I don't know where good old MF Michael Fletch is. I don't know if he's out because of work commitments beyond his control or if he's running late. But nonetheless, Michael Bullock and I we're gonna start the show without him, and if he comes in, then we'll catch him up simply on what he missed. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is a big show here tonight. I mean, Week 16 of the NFL is underway. It started last night with the New York Giants going up against the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. You had Mike Tirico sitting in for Al Michaels. He worked with Chris Collinsworth and Heather Cox, and a great game indeed. And the Philadelphia Eagles coming away with a very impressive win, 24-19. I mean, Philly just got it going early. And Malcolm Jenkins with 2 interceptions, including an interception return touchdown in the win. And the Eagle defense picked off Eli Manning 3 times. And it was a big win for the Philadelphia Eagles, but a tough loss for the New York Giants, a bad loss for the New York Giants if you really think about it. So definitely hurts them in their playoff chances, but they'll have another chance to get in on New Year's Day when they go up against the Washington Redskins at FedEx Field. So definitely a must win for the G-men if they want to make it in. So I want to bring in Michael Bullock, and I want to get a brief thought from him about how he viewed this game last night. So Bullock, let's get a quick thought from you, and then we'll dive into this week's action.
Yeah, man, I mean, I certainly did not expect this. I mean, the Eagles, the Eagles, they pretty much had nothing to lose here. I mean, they weren't going to the playoffs, and as I always like to say, a team that's dangerous is a team that's got nothing to lose, and man, the Eagles certainly came out and played a really good game, and yeah, I mean, tough loss here for the Giants. I mean, had a chance to clinch a playoff spot and keep their NFC East title hopes alive, and the offense just really didn't look like themselves last night. Like you said, Eli Manning getting picked off 3 times, and I thought Carson Wentz played a really solid game. Same thing with Darren Sproles. So, and like you said, the Giants, they still might have a chance to clinch the division. I mean, or clinch a playoff spot tomorrow, with some help. But they could also help their own cause next week on New Year's Day. So we'll just wait and see what happens. But all in all, nice win for the Eagles, tough loss for the Giants, and because of that, the Dallas Cowboys have won the NFC East and have clinched home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. So the road to Super Bowl 51 on the NFC side will go through Jerry's World. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I can say. So Flora, let's dive into the rest of the action for week 16, the second to last week of the regular season.
Yes, indeed. Penultimate week. And what is there to say? I mean, and it's not often we get this, but every few years we get it. NFL football on Saturday. Yeah, Christmas Eve, as you know. Christmas Eve tomorrow. We have quite a few games on the docket. I believe it's a dozen. I believe we have a dozen games on the docket for tomorrow, and then we got 2 on Christmas Sunday, and then follow that up with a very exciting Monday night game. And we're going to get into all of that. And let's not waste any more time. Let's not dilly dally anymore. Let's dive on in, and we're going to dive in. It's a shame that MF's not here because I really wanted to get his thoughts on our first matchup that we're going to get into. It's the Strictly Sports Buddy Bowl. The Miami Dolphins going up against the Buffalo Bills at a New Era Field in Buffalo. And the game's going to be on CBS. And on the call for CBS, it'll be Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green and Jamie Erdahl. They will be in Buffalo for the Dolphins and the Bills. And believe it or not, the Buffalo Bills are the favorites in this one. They're 4.5-point favorites in this one. I think I know why. It's got to be because of the injury to Ryan Tannehill, which is why Matt Moore is going to be the starting quarterback for Miami. And now we're going to get into the series history between these two. They met earlier this season in Miami a couple months ago. And when all was said and done, it was the Miami Dolphins who came away with the win in that game. So I know that game was in Miami. And with that win, Miami now increases their series lead all time. It's now 58-42 with one tie. I already got into that tie when we covered this game on the last when we did the show. It snapped a 2-game losing streak to the Buffalo Bills for the Miami Dolphins, winning in Miami for the first time since 2014. Now the Buffalo Bills, on the other hand, they've won the last, believe it or not, they've won the last 4 meetings in Buffalo. So this definitely bodes well for Buffalo. I mean, they beat them 33-17 a year ago, and then a 29-10 win the year before that, and then 19-0 in 2013, and then 19-14 in 2012. But the last time the Dolphins won in Buffalo, we got to go back to 2011. That was a 30-23 win for Miami in Buffalo. So yeah. Let's dive on in. And Buffalo, they rebounded from 2 losses in a row by pounding Cleveland to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. But I mean, who isn't pounding Cleveland of late? They have got a nice upset opportunity here against the Dolphins in Orchard Park, as Miami will have to go into the cold with Matt Moore in their second straight road contest. And honestly, if I'm going to be real honest with you, I know a lot of the experts are saying Miami's going to win this game, and rightfully so. I can understand that, but because they're the better team, they got the better record. They're pushing for playoffs right now. They're currently in the number 6 spot, and with a win and some help, the Miami Dolphins will actually make the postseason for the first time in 8 years. And I know how badly MF wants to see that more than anything else. Not just him, but his Dolphin fan family. You know, Eric Carrier, Lisa Medeiros, Bianca Corbin, Michelle Lopes. I mean, that's his Dolphin family, and his father as well. And I know how bad he wants it, but there's long-suffering Bills fans like myself and Jason Hicksonbaugh. And I mean, yeah, I know Miami's going to pound the rock and they're going to find success in that game like they did in the earlier meeting. And there is a chance that they can crank out a close win, certainly. But I still think because of the injury to Tannehill, I mean, don't get me wrong, Matt Moore had a great game against the Jets. I mean, he threw 4 touchdown passes and in that 34-13 win by the Dolphins over the Jets last Saturday night in the Meadowlands. So there's really nothing left for me to say here except I'm actually going to go against the grain, and I'm going to go with my Buffalo Bills to win. After all, they are 4.5-point favorites, and that's kind of good to me. So I'm going to take a chance here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. I'm going with my Buffalo Bills to win this game. 24-19 is my final score. Tyrod Taylor, I expect him to have a solid game. And LaShawn McCoy has been playing very well this year. I think he's going to have another big game here. The receiving core, Sammy Watkins and company, I think they're all going to have big games here. And I think the defense will get to Matt Moore a little bit. I mean, the reason why he had a great game was because they were playing the Jets, for goodness sakes. The Jets are terrible. Everybody knows that. But at the end of the day, I got the Buffalo Bills winning this game, and I think that defense will definitely fluster Matt Moore, and I don't see him having 4 touchdown passes like he did against the Jets. So I'm going to take a chance, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. Buffalo Bills, my team, I'm going with them. My final score, 24-19. So Michael Bullock, Mike here. Let's get into it. Dolphins and Bills in Buffalo, the Strictly Sports Buddy Bowl. You're the impartial one here, so So who do you like? Do you like MF's Dolphins or do you like my Bills in this one?
All right. Well, of course, as usual, of course, I got to do my injury report. Of course, Ryan Tannehill. Of course, we all know he's still out with that knee injury, but linebacker Jelani Jenkins has a knee injury. He's doubtful, and same goes for Byron Maxwell, who's got an ankle injury. So 2 other guys might not be able to play in this game. Meanwhile, Kiko Alonso with a hamstring injury and Mario Williams with an ankle injury, they're listed as questionable. And for the Bills, of course, linebacker Preston Brown with a foot injury, tight end Charles Clay with a knee injury, wide receiver Sammy Watkins with a foot injury, and defensive tackle Kyle Williams with a back injury. They're listed as questionable. So, yeah, and I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills as well. I'm going to go 27-20 as my final. And the reason why, I mean, not just because, of course, Matt Moore is playing, but the Dolphins, I mean, they've had a history of not doing well in cold weather, whether it's in Buffalo or New England or New York. I mean, yeah, they play the Jets, but let's face, like you said, the Jets are terrible. So, or as Charles Barkley would say, terrible. So, yeah, but so I think the Tannehill injury is finally going to come back to them and come back and get them. So, I'm going with the Bills as well. So, yeah. So with that being said, Floria, let's move on to our next 1:00 matchup, which I believe it features the Falcons and the Panthers.
Yes, it does. Yes, indeed, Bullock. You're absolutely right. It will be the Atlanta Falcons squaring off against the Carolina Panthers in Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. And this game, of course, will be broadcast on Fox. And on the call for Fox for this one, it will be Tom Brenneman with Charles Davis, Chris Spielman, and Peter Schrager. They will be in Charlotte for the Falcons and the Panthers. And the spread currently favors the Atlanta Falcons by 3. And that's not really that sizable spread. And I know they met earlier this year. I know they met in Atlanta, I believe. And I believe I don't quite remember who came away with the win in that one. Just bear with me for a moment, and while I pull it up, and yeah, I mean, I know they met earlier this season in the Georgia Dome. I do know that for a fact because this game's in Charlotte this time around. Okay, it was Atlanta. The Atlanta Falcons won that game. That was a wild one. That was a 48-33 win back on October 2nd. That was in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta, and that was and I think that was the game when Julio Jones was over 300 yards receiving, if I'm not mistaken. So that was that massive game that Julio Jones had. I mean, unreal. So with that win, count that for Atlanta. So it's now 26-17 in favor of the Atlanta Falcons all time, and great action here. This is gonna be a good one here. It was 26-17. And the Falcons have now won 2 in a row in the Georgia Dome. Last year they met in Carolina. Carolina pounded Atlanta 38-0. Of course, that was that awesome team they had a year ago, and they went 15-1 and went to the Super Bowl. So Falcons last won there in 2014. That was a 19-17 final. So I believe I've covered all the schematics here. Remember, there's no more game raiders, which stinks because those were a godsend for us. So Michael Bullock, the Atlanta Falcons currently tied, I believe, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South, and Carolina, of course, they're out of it, but they play spoiler big time on Monday night in Washington.
Yeah. This is a chance for the Falcons to basically play the role of spoilers, and according to the injury report, I don't see any key injuries when it comes to both sides. So, yeah, like you said, Falcons are fighting for the NFC South, of course, tied with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, yeah, I mean, I'm basically gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons in this one. I'm gonna say my final score is gonna be 30-20 is going to be my final score. Matt Ryan's going to have a solid game. Devontae Freeman's going to have a solid game. Julio Jones will have a solid game. And again, there's a guy to basically keep an eye on. That's Taylor Gabriel. I mean, I've really been impressed with his body of work, and I think it's going to help lead this offense as well. So, yeah, so give me the Atlanta Falcons to win this one. So, Florio, I give it to you.
Even with their season in the toilet, the Panthers played well on Monday night in Landover as they helped to deal the Washington club a nice dent in their playoff chances. they have the chance right here at home to play spoiler again. However, I don't see it happening because their offense has not shown enough to me to think they can outscore the Falcons. But if Cam Newton has a big league performance, look out. So I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons to win this game. I agree with you, Bullock. My final score, 31-28. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I think Matt Ryan's going to have another big game like he did against Carolina in that last meeting back on October 2nd. Of course, let's not rule out Taylor Gabriel, like Bullock said. I mean, here's a young man who's been playing out of his mind as of late. He's been playing out of this world, and he's playing very well. And I think he's going to have a huge game as well. And Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, Julio Jones, and those boys, they're going to be ready. But Cam Newton and company, they're going to be ready too. And as far as Carolina goes, where was this earlier in the season? Where was this offensive firepower that we're seeing from them now? I mean, where was that? I mean, obviously it's been nowhere, and that's why they're not. We're guaranteed a new NFC champion this year. So shame too, because I mean they were so fun to watch a year ago. I'm not gonna lie, they were so fun to watch. You know, they were 15-1, went to the Super Bowl. They lost to Denver in San Francisco, but you know that team was just so damn fun to watch. And unfortunately, this time around they're not. And I can honestly say they're one of the most disappointing teams, if not the most disappointing team in the league, because they had so much upside. I mean, they were favored to go to the Super Bowl again. I mean, they were one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl again this year, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So, but there is a chance. There's always a chance they could beat Atlanta, but I'm just feeling Atlanta right now. So I'm going to go with Atlanta, 31-28. Should be a great one. Looking forward to it. So even though we're not getting that game, we're not getting that game on our Fox affiliate. But the game we're getting, though, is a worthy one. I will admit it. So, all right, let's move on to our next matchup here on NFL Friday. We got the Washington Redskins squaring off against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago. This game will be broadcast on Fox as well. And on the call for Fox, it will be the legendary Dick Stockton, along with David Deal and Christina Pink. They'll be in Chicago for the Redskins and the Bears. And the series and the spread, I beg your pardon, the spread favors the Redskins by 3. And the series history also favors the Redskins. It's 21-20 with one tie. And believe it or not, the one tie they had was in their very first meeting all the way back in, get this, 1932. They played a 7-all tie in Boston. Because remember, the Washington Redskins used to be in Boston. They used to be known as the Boston Braves, believe it or not. So, little Tony fun fact for you. But their last meeting was in Chicago, and the Redskins won it 24-21 a year ago. Matter of fact, the Redskins have won each of the last 6 meetings in this series. Bears haven't beaten the Redskins overall and at home since 2003. That was 27-24. Chicago won that one. But the Redskins have dominated in this series. They've won the last 6 meetings in a row. So let's dive into this matchup here. You know, Matt Barkley may still be Matt Barkley, but hey, the guy has played relatively well of late and has kept the Bears competitive, most recently last week against the Packers. It doesn't help him that his team is awful, but you have to give credit where credit is due. Washington needs this win in the worst way, and I think they will get it, but it will not be easy. Just ask Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and he'll tell you firsthand it was not easy. But I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins to win this game. I'm going to go 24-21 is my final score. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a huge game here. Robert Kelly in the running game, I think he's going to do well. The receiving core with Pierre Garçon and Jordan Reed, I expect them to have big games as well. Barkley's been playing well for Chicago. I think he's going to have another big game. And also give it up for Jordan Howard. I mean, Jordan Howard, an unsung hero for this team, even though they've been god-awful. I mean, you got to love what that young man has been doing. I mean, I know I do. I mean, he's been a fantasy stud for me throughout this season. And I expect him to have another huge game here. And Alshon Jeffrey's back in the mix. I mean, you know, he was suspended for a few games because of a Noggin Diva issue, but at least he's back in the fold. And I think he's going to play well. So, but ultimately, I think the Redskins are going to bounce back from that embarrassing loss to Carolina last Monday night. So, my final score here, I'm going to go 24-21 in favor of the Washington Redskins. All hail the Redskins. So, Michael Bullock, come on back in. The Redskins, bad loss at home against Carolina. That was a game they really needed to win. And because of that loss, unfortunately, their playoff chances are on life support, unless, of course, they can go into Chicago and get one, which I think they will.
Yeah, this was indeed a tough loss for the Redskins. I mean, they really needed that win to keep their playoff hopes alive, and it didn't work out. So, yeah, as far as the injury report, of course, tight end Jordan Reed with a shoulder injury is listed as questionable. Uh, Same thing with linebacker Patrick Kerrigan with an elbow injury, and defensive end Christopher Baker with an ankle injury. They're questionable as well. And for the Bears, of course, excuse me, yeah, really no big names that I see here. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Redskins to win this one as well. I think they're going to bounce back in a big way. My final score is going to be 24-10. Is going to be my final score. So yeah, I think Kirk Cousins will have a big game. Jordan Reed will have a big game. Kelly, I think, will have a solid game on the ground as well. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say except let's move on to our next game,
Oh,
Florio, which I will get into.
oh boy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see it now.
Can you say, well, I'm going to do it the right way. The password is Zonk Game of the Week. And that's exactly,
DUD Dud.
yes, indeed. But we got to get into it because, that's what we do. It's going to be the San Diego Chargers squaring off against the dud Cleveland Browns at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio, the Dog Pound, Cleveland Browns Stadium, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be on CBS. And for those of you who actually have to watch this game, I feel so bad for you guys. I feel so sorry for you guys. For you wonderful folks in Yuma, Arizona, Los Angeles, Palm Springs, San Diego, Cleveland, Columbus, Dayton, Lima, Toledo, Youngstown, and who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if our colleague Dee Dee Woodson and her family in their hometown of Alliance, Ohio, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up getting this game as well. And for those cities that I just read, may God have mercy on your soul, because unfortunately you're gonna have to sit through this monstrosity. But San Diego Chargers, Cleveland Browns, Spiro Ditas and Solomon Wilcots. Oh boy, I feel bad for those guys. They deserve better than that. Trust me, they do. And the spread, well, believe it or not, San Diego is of course San Diego is the favorite, but it's not as much as you think it is. They're only 4 to 4.5 point favorites, which I find hard to believe. I mean, it should be a lot higher than that. It should have been at least double digits, but it is what it is. Series history favors the Cleveland Browns, or I should say the San Diego Chargers. I beg your pardon. I had a long day, trust me, but it was worth it though. San Diego leads the all-time series 15-8 with one tie. The one tie was in 1973. They played to a 16 all tie in Cleveland. Their last meeting was last year in San Diego. The Chargers won it 30-27. Last meeting in Cleveland was 2012, and believe it or not, the Browns won that game by a score of 7-6. Yeah, tearing it up. And then San Diego's last win in Cleveland came back in 2009. That was a 30-23 win. So, Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, the luck of the draw does not smile on you for a change. It's not very nice to you here. So, Chargers and Browns. I already know.
Yeah, they're not nice to me at Christmas time.
Yeah. This is the equivalent of a lump of coal. Believe me. So, all right, man. Chargers and Browns. I already know who you have, but just give us a quick thought anyway.
Yeah, I'm just going to give you the injury report. Melvin Gordon with a hip injury is out. King Dunlap with a knee injury, and guard Orlando Franklin with a illness. They're listed as questionable, so I'm just going to make it short and sweet. I got the Chargers winning this one. My final score, I'm going to say 28-0. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's how bad it's going to be. Florio, it's yours.
Wow, you got a shutout there. Okay. Anywho, the Browns have 2 opportunities left to avoid joining the 2008 Detroit Lions as the only teams to go 0-16, and it is hard to find reasons to believe that they will get a win either this week or next week. I mean, San Diego isn't any good, and they're playing an early game, but at least they can score some points. And like Bullock said, they're not going to have Melvin Gordon back. But against a Cleveland team that can neither score nor keep teams from scoring, that should be enough. So I'm going with the San Diego Chargers to win it. I'm going to say 20-10 is my final score. behind a big effort from Phillip Rivers. I think he's going to have a huge game here. I do think Antonio Gates and Dontrell Inman are going to have big games as well. I think the defense. We'll get to RG3 and company. So, yeah, Cleveland. They're out. This is their final home game of the year with the Chargers coming in, and then unfortunately after that, Happy New Year. You got to go to Pittsburgh and take on a damn good Steeler team. So I got news for you, Cleveland. Unless we see better, well, we're gonna see history and not of the good kind on New Year's Day. So if you know what I mean. So 20-10. That's my final score. It's all San Diego all the time. So with that said, let's move on to our next matchup, and well, a much better matchup here. And of course, I'm gonna start it off here. What a game we got here! One of our games of the week, one of our headline matchups of the week, right here, and it should be a damn good one. We got the Minnesota Vikings squaring off against the Green Bay Packers on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Oh yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this one, boy. It's on Fox, and on the call for Fox, no big surprise. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, Aaron Andrews. This is their game right here. And the Packers, they're favorited. 6.5 to 7 points is the spread. They met earlier this season. I believe it was back in week number 2. They met. Yes, it was on September the 18th. It was on a Sunday night. I remember that night very well because Bullock and I, along with some good friends of ours, the Keenan brothers, we had a boys' night out that night. I remember that very well. We had a boys' night out at IHOP, and I'll never forget that. It was a great time, and this was the Sunday night game going into that night. It was the first official, meaningful game at the beautiful U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, and the Vikings christened it with a win, 17-14, back in week number 2 on September the 18th, and Minnesota won it. So that cuts Green Bay's series lead down to 58-50 with 2 ties. I already got into the 2 ties. We did that when we covered this game way back when, 14 weeks ago. They split last year. Both teams won on the road. So the Vikings actually won in Lambeau last year, 20-13. Green Bay last beat them there in 2014, 42-10 beatdown. So here we go. This is a huge game in the NFC North, especially after Detroit lost on last Sunday in the Meadowlands. But these 2 teams are going in different directions. Minnesota has lost 7 of their last 9, and their offense has only gotten worse. They looked really bad in getting pounded by the Colts at home. Meanwhile, Green Bay nearly choked away a game in Chicago against the game Bears squad, but a brilliant play by both Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson helped to save the day. Even in a divisional contest, I just don't see the Vikings offense to get enough production here on the road. So I'm going with the Green Bay Packers to win this game. My final score, 28-14. That's my final. Aaron Rodgers, another big game for him. Christine Michael had a breakout game for the Packers. His first breakout game as a Packer after being traded from Seattle. I think he's going to have another big game here. Maybe some James Starks action, we'll see. And then the receiving core, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, and Richard Rodgers. For Green Bay, for Minnesota, rather, the good news was they got Adrian Peterson back. The bad news is he did absolutely nothing against the Indianapolis Colts. Absolutely nothing. And Sam Bradford was no better. And I expect the same here, especially against that Packer defense on what will be a frozen day on the frozen tundra on this Christmas weekend. So there's really nothing left for me to say here. Give me the Green Bay Packers, 28-14. Michael Bullock, who you got in one of our big games of the week right here?
Yeah, of course, we already know about the Adrian Peterson story. Of course, he'll be out of this game. Stephon Diggs with a hip injury, and safety Harrison Smith with an ankle injury. They're listed as questionable. And for the Green Bay Packers, of course, James Starks, of course, is out with a concussion, and Randall Cobb with an ankle injury is listed as questionable. So, yeah, the Green Bay Packers, this team was struggling, but this team has been on a major roll as of late, and And Minnesota, I mean, when they got Adrian Peterson back, we were thinking, yeah, they're going to challenge the Colts. Wasn't even close, and Adrian Peterson was basically a non-factor. But then again, you could say the same for Sam Bradford and the rest of the Vikings. So give me the Green Bay Packers to win this one. My final score is going to be 34-17. So Aaron Rodgers, I mean, he's going to have a big game in the air. Yeah, Jordy Nelson will have a big game as well. So yeah, there's really nothing else to say except give me Green Bay to win it, and let's move on to our next game. And well, let's just say this one is another zonk game.
Yes, another zonk game of the week. You're absolutely right on that, Michael Bullock.
2 times in a row, I get it.
Well,
two times in a row, and had to lead off on a zonk game.
Well, that's what happens when MF can't be on the show. I guess we're gonna probably have to rule him out now. So, anyways,
we can't quite blame it on him.
No, because who knows how the luck of the draw would have played out, even if he was here. So, we got the Tennessee Titans squaring off against the Jacksonville Jaguars at Everbank Field in Jacksonville. This game will be broadcast on CBS, and on the call for CBS, it'll be Andrew Catalon with Steve Berline and Steve Tasker. Spread favors the Tennessee Titans by 5 to 5.5, and the series history favors the Tennessee Titans. It's 24-19. They met earlier this year. That game was in Nashville. That was I believe that was on a Thursday night, as I recall. And Tennessee came away with the win, 36-22. A little bit of a wild one down there in Nashville. That was back on October 27th, nearly 2 months ago. 23-19. 24-19 is now the series history. Tennessee has, that was in Tennessee. However, Jacksonville has won the last 2 meetings in Jacksonville. 19-13 last year and 21-13 the year before. Tennessee last won in Jacksonville back in 2013. That was a 20-16 win. So, all right, Michael Bullock. Of course, we're not going to get into Jacksonville because we already know that they're anyway. But Tennessee, I mean, you got to give it up for the Tennessee Titans. I mean, look what this team has been doing. I mean, it's one thing when you win at home against the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos.
But what they did last week.
Yeah, I mean,
going into a tough environment in Arrowhead Stadium.
Loudest stadium in the NFL.
Loudest stadium in the NFL. And they come out of here with a victory.
They stole one. Whoa. Heist of the century. Revisited.
I don't think any of us saw that coming.
I certainly didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I was on my way to the what was that? Lucky's to watch the Patriots Broncos game, and I'm watching like some of the other games, and I'm seeing like, whoa, is Tennessee really hanging around with them?
And then when you saw Tennessee had won.
And I'm like, wow, statement win for Tennessee.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Royal Rumble 97 look on the face, I'm sure.
Huh. Yeah, not only me, but even my Uncle Brian as well. We were like, did that just really happen?
What? And MF, and this would be a time where MF would let out his infamous, what? Yeah.
Yeah, a statement win to keep their playoff hopes alive and
tied for first.
Yeah, so basically, of course, Jason McCourty has a chest injury. He's listed as out. And, of course, for the Jags, Alan Hearns with a hamstring injury and Denard Robinson with an ankle injury. They're listed as out. So, yeah, statement win for the Titans last week over the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think that that's going to continue for them. And because I got them winning this one, my final score is going to be 24-7 is going to be my final score. Marcus Mariota, I think, will have a solid game. DeMarco Murray, I think, will have a solid game. I mean, talk about a story here with DeMarco Murray. I mean, 2014 leads the NFL in rushing, gets traded to the Philadelphia Eagles, has a down year, and now this year we're seeing that DeMarco Murray from 2014 again, and that's a huge boost to that Tennessee Titan offense, and I expect him to continue to be on a roll. So, yeah, so there's nothing more to say except give me the Tennessee Titans to win this one. Florio, it's yours.
All right, and now we're gonna move on to a game that I know Michael Bullock's really looking forward to. I know he's ready for this one. It's his team that we're gonna get into next, as it'll be the New York Jets squaring off against the New England Patriots at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. This game's going to be broadcast on CBS, and on the call for CBS, it'll be Iron Eagle with Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn. Bullock, you're going to like what I'm about to tell you. The New England Patriots are not only the favorites this week, they're massive favorites. They're the biggest favorites of the week. You ready for this? 17-point favorites against the Jets. That's right, 17 is the spread in favor of your team, Bullock. So I know you got to be going.
Whoa.
17, bud. Yeah, 17.
Wow. I mean, I knew it would be in the double digits, but I didn't think it would be that big.
17 across the board, man. 17 across the board. And all right. Series history, of course, that does favor the New England Patriots. They met earlier this season. They met just last month. They met on November the 27th in the Meadowlands, and the New England Patriots narrowly escaped with a 22-17 win against the Jets in the Meadowlands at MetLife Stadium. New England now leads the all-time series 58-53 with a tie. I already got into that tie when we did the show last month. They split last year, both teams winning at home. It's been a while since the Jets have won in New England. Last time they won in New England was actually a playoff game in January of 2011. It was the AFC divisional playoff, and the Jets stole one in Foxborough, 28-21. And their last regular season win in New England, you got to go back to 2008, back when some guy named Favre was playing for them. Favre, I heard he was pretty good, so good that he wears a gold jacket in Canton, Ohio nowadays. That was I believe that was on a Thursday night, as I recall. The Jets won that one 34-31 in overtime. That's the last regular season win they had in Foxborough. So every year since then, it's been all New England all the time. The Patriots have owned the Jets in Gillette. Technically, it was that playoff game was the last time they actually lost to them. So, all right. Let me get into this. As expected, that win over the 49ers was basically proven meaningless as the Jets came back and laid another egg against the Miami Dolphins at home last Saturday night. Whether it's Bryce Petty, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kyle Petty, or Broken Hand Fitzpatrick, they have just about no chance of going into Foxborough and pulling off an upset victory. It may be uninspiring, but the Patriots are my lock of the week. 27-7, the New England Patriots all over the New York Jets. Tom Brady, big game. LeGarrette Blount, big game. Dion Lewis, James White. Throw in some Julian Edelman. Throw in some Danny Amendola. Throw in some Martellus Bennett. And of course, the young man who was responsible for that win against the Jets in the Meadowlands last month. Who will ever forget it? And a young man who continues to impress me, Malcolm Mitchell. You got to keep an eye on this kid. I mean, he is unbelievable. I am really loving his body of work, and I may not be a Patriot fan, but I got a lot of respect for that young man. And I think I gotta say it, the future is now, and I think he's got a hell of a future in Foxborough. And of course, they are going through a distraction because of the whole Michael Floyd situation. They signed him just recently. Of course, he had that little Noggin Diva moment while he was still in Arizona. So, but we'll see if he finally gets some playing time this week. So, easiest call of the week, no doubt about it. Lock of the week. New England wins it 27-7. Michael Bullock, let's bring you back in. Your team did it again last week, wrapping up yet another AFC East divisional championship. I mean, how many is it now? 80 in a row now that you guys have won? I mean, my Lord.
And a first-round bye.
Yes, the first round bye as well. Ball's in their court. I mean, with a win and a Raider loss against the Colts, New England will not only have that first round bye, but they will sew up the home field advantage throughout the entire AFC playoffs, which means the road to Super Bowl 51 in Houston, Texas will have to go through Foxborough, Massachusetts, and Gillette Stadium.
And that would mean that Week 17 matchup against the Dolphins is pretty much a meaningless game.
That's if the Raiders lose. But we'll get into
only if the Raiders lose.
We'll get into that in just a little bit. So yeah, we'll get into them in a little bit. They got a big game coming up tomorrow as well. So all right. So your team wins another division title. Oh, hallelujah. Praise the Lord. I mean, all is right with the world. So what is this now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in a row now? When are you going to spread the wealth, man? When are you going to spread the wealth?
Well, until the day when Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are gone. I mean, that's the only way I see that happening. But as long as they're around and as long as they continue to build good teams on this team, I just don't see that happening anytime soon. I mean, the last time we saw anybody but New England win the division, you have to go back to the 2008 season when Fletcher's Dolphins won that division. So, but ever since then, it's been all New England running that division. Well, let's just say they've basically been holding court in that division since Bob Kraft took over that team. Yeah, of course. Starting off with the injury report for the Jets, of course. Stephen McClendon with a hamstring injury is out. Matt Forte with a knee injury is doubtful. Wide receiver Brandon Marshall with a shoulder injury, and defensive end Muhammad Wilkerson with an ankle injury. They're listed as questionable. Of course, Amendola is still out with an ankle injury. Dante Hightower and as a knee injury is listed as questionable. Martellus Bennett with an ankle injury is listed as questionable. Tom Brady with a thigh injury is listed as questionable. But I do expect them to play in this game. So, there's really nothing more to say. Give me the Patriots to win this one. 30-7 is going to be my final score. So, but Florio, before we move on, regarding the Patriots, I have something. I got a bone to pick with when it comes to the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah, say snub. Hello.
Yeah. One of the snubs. Well, first let me find it first. LeGarrette Blount. I mean, here's a man who's rushed for over 1,000 yards this season, and he's got 15 rushing touchdowns this season. 15. And yet it's not enough for him to make the Pro Bowl? Are you freaking kidding me?
You know who's behind that.
I mean, I'm crying foul over that one.
You should. He deserves to be.
That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you're telling me. I got to pull up the other running backs who are on there. But a man who pretty much is right up there atop in the NFL in rushing touchdowns, and you're telling me he's not good enough to make the Pro Bowl? No. Pointless, unnecessary, unacceptable, inexcusable, irresponsible, borderline reprehensible, and just flat out stupid among the voters. I mean,
you know what? I got to do it.
Let's do this. Let's do this for you. To those voters who didn't put LeGarrette Blount on the Pro Bowl, you just made the list.
You know what happened? You just made the list. You know what happens? You made the list. You made the Florio and Bullock list of injustice.
And you know what?
Congratulations.
Malcolm Butler. There's another name. Yeah, I think he's having another solid season. I mean, the numbers are not impressive, but I thought it was good enough.
A couple years ago?
Huh?
He didn't get our Super Bowl hero from 2 years ago, who made the greatest play in Super Bowl history.
And he made the Pro Bowl last season too.
Good grief!
I don't know who in the hell is responsible for it, but I'm just thoroughly disgusted with it.
And you should be.
I mean, you rather choose like other guys who aren't deserving to go to the Pro Bowl, and you rather have them go there and have LeGarrette Blount and Malcolm Butler who are having good seasons, I mean Pro Bowl seasons, and not have them be a part of it? No, I am not going to stand for 1 freaking minute. And the immoral words of Ren and Stimpy, you idiots!
Stupid idiots.
Stupid idiots. Stupid idiot muttonheads. Done. Finish. Florio. Please move on before I really go off.
Yeah, Muttonhead is right. You know it. All right, let's move on. That actually
maybe they got their advice from Vince McDinkleberg and Kevin Bucktooth Beaver Dunn.
Oh, wouldn't surprise me. All right. That actually concludes our early games. There was supposed to be one early game left, but that game actually got moved to 425. And we'll get into that one in a little bit. So we're going to jump in now to the late games now. And we got one 405 game. It's on CBS. Man, I wish we were getting this one because this is going to be a damn good one. Another one of our top games of the week. And I believe Michael Bullock gets to start it off this time. So you get a good one to start off with this time. Not a zonk one. We got the Indianapolis Colts squaring off against the Oakland Raiders at O.CO Coliseum, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum in Oakland, California. Games on CBS, and you know who's working this one. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Phil Simms, and Tracy Wolfson. They're going to be in the black hole for the Colts and the Raiders. And the spread favors the Oakland Raiders, 3.5 to 4. And the series history also favors the Oakland Raiders 7-6. However, the Indianapolis Colts have won each of the last 4 meetings in a row between these two. Last meeting was 2013. They met in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium, and the Colts won it 21-17. Last meeting in Oakland was 2010. Colts won that one 31-26. They won the last 2 meetings in Oakland. They also won there in 2007, 21-14. You want to ask, when was the last time the Raiders? The last time the Raiders beat the Colts was in 2001. That was a 23-18 win in Indianapolis. Last time they beat them at home, got to go back to 1995. That was a 30-17 win. That was in Oakland. So 7-6, Oakland leads it. Colts, however, have won the last 4 meetings. So, all right, Bullock, as we started off with you here, the Indianapolis Colts, man, they came to play in Minneapolis last week. A 34-6 beatdown of the Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium. Meanwhile, the Raiders, ooh, wow. The Oakland Raiders, of course, they needed a rebound from that loss against the Kansas City Chiefs, and they did just that. They found a way to get it done. They had a tough time with the San Diego Chargers, but they found a way to get it done. And for the first time, Michael Bullock, since 2002, the Oakland Raiders are a playoff team. Did I really just say that? Wow.
Yeah, you did just say that. Of course, starting off with the injuries, of course, cornerback Rashaan Melvin with a knee injury and Joseph Reitz with a back injury. They're listed as questionable. Of course, for the excuse me, for the Raiders, of course, wide receiver Amari Cooper with a shoulder injury, Michael Crabtree with a finger injury, guard Kelechi Osemele with an ankle injury, and linebacker Malcolm Smith with a hamstring injury. They're listed as questionable. So, yeah, Colts with a statement win last week with that win over the Minnesota Vikings. And, Andrew Luck, I mean, he had a really big game. And, I mean, the Raiders certainly bounced back from that loss over Kansas City. So, yeah, so as much as I want to see the Colts win, of course, and have the Patriots get that home field advantage, but I got to be quite honest. Oakland's the better team here. I got Oakland winning this one. I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say 31-28 is going to be my final score. Derek Carr, I think, will have a solid game. Latavius Murray will have a solid game, and same thing with Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree. And the defense led by Khalil Mack will make some big plays. So would I be surprised if the Colts win it? No, I wouldn't be surprised. But I got Oakland winning this one. And And Florio, before I move it to you, I do have the list of the running backs on the AFC side that made the Pro Bowl. Le'Veon Bell of the Pittsburgh Steelers, DeMarco Murray of the Titans, and LaShawn McCoy of the Buffalo Bills.
Well, those are good choices. I mean, you can you understand they only limit 3, and the only way LeGarrette Blount will play is if one of those guys refuses to play, because a lot of these guys don't even want to be in that game anyway.
Yeah, but let's not forget, if the Patriots were to have made the Super Bowl, which if they do, then that automatically means they won't be in the Pro Bowl.
No, and it works out good for you, and then that little rant you just went on will be null and void if you really think about it. So
if that's the case, then
it's worth it.
I'll just say like this: that rant I just went on will, let's just say, it never happened.
Yeah, we'll pretend it never happened, even though it really did.
Even though it did.
Yeah, LaShawn McCoy, great year in Buffalo, no doubt about it. DeMarco Murray, a renaissance in Tennessee, and Le'Veon Bell doing what Le'Veon Bell does, and so that's it on that. I got to get into my thoughts here. All right, let's see. Colts Raiders. Okay, where do I have? Okay, here we go. Now, was their impressive victory over the Vikings in Minneapolis symbolic of an Indianapolis club being better than we thought they were, or of a Minnesota club that has completely fallen apart? I lean toward the latter. But even then, a 4-touchdown road victory is a 4-touchdown road victory. They are back on the road this week, but against a much tougher team than the Raiders. And while Andrew Luck can keep his team in just about any game, I'd be surprised if he won them this game. So I agree with you, Bullock. I got the Oakland Raiders winning this game as well. I got this as a high-scoring game. 35-30 is my final score in favor of the Oakland Raiders. Derek Carr is going to have another huge game. Latavius Murray, big game for him as well. That receiving core, like Bullock said, Michael Crabtree, and along with Amari Cooper. And, of course, we can't forget about Seth Roberts. I mean, he was a young man who's been playing some good ball as of late as well. And I'm impressed with his work, too. And, of course, Khalil Mack on the defense. I mean, what else is there to say about him? And this loss will pretty much end the Indianapolis Colts' any chances of them making a return trip to the postseason. It's been a couple years since they've been there. So, but I got the Raiders here. I mean, first time in 14 years. I mean, good old MF, Michael Fletcher. He has a friend by the name of Ed Williams who was a diehard Raider fan, and I know he couldn't be any more delighted with how things are turning out right now. And I mean, he's waited. He's had to suffer 14 long years to see his team finally back in the postseason. And they went to the Super Bowl that year, and got their brains beat out by the Bucs. So we all remember that. So that's really all there is to say on that. So 35-30, Oakland wins. It's one of the games of the week, one of my top games of the week. It's a game I wish we were getting, but unfortunately we're not. But it is what it is. So all right. Now you got to move on to the 425 games now. We got 3 of them, and it's going to be in our first one. Oh, yeah, get ready for a barn burner here. You want to talk about a Zonk game of the week? Here's a Zonk game of the week for you. The San Francisco 49ers squaring off against the Los Angeles Rams at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. Rams, the favorites, they're favorited by 4.5, if you can believe that. This game is on Fox, and on the call for Fox, it'll be Chris Myers with Rondé Barber and Jennifer Hale. They met earlier this year back on opening week, week 1, on a Monday night in San Francisco, and the 49ers won that game by a score of 28-0. And we thought they were looking up. We thought things were looking up for the Niners. Oh, boy, howdy. Ooh. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that win, Niner fans, because unfortunately, your boys haven't won a game since then. They've lost every game since. Can you believe that? Every game since that game on opening night, they've lost. They are now 1-13. And they're going up against the 4-10 Rams team. Oh, boy. Wow. What a disaster of a football game. On one side, you have a team that has not won since week 1. And on the other, you have a team that seemingly hasn't scored a touchdown in years. I will tell you, the Niners have gotten a little frisky at times, and Colin Kaepernick has not been terrible of late. I will admit that. But something tells me, with this game being in Los Angeles and the Rams being 4.5-point favorites, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams to win this game. My final score is going to be a low-scoring game. I got it 17-13 in favor of the LA Rams. I'm actually picking the Rams to win for once. I do think Jared Goff should have a solid game here. Todd Gurley, solid game. Kenny Britt, he's been playing very well as of late. I think he can have a nice game here too. And Kaepernick will be fine for the Niners, but I really don't see – I mean, until I see the Niners do otherwise, I cannot in good conscience go with them. So I'm going with the Rams to win. My final score is 17-13. So Michael Bullock, another Zonk game of the week right here. Niners and Rams. Who you got here?
Yeah, I guess for the injuries, Joe Staley with a hamstring injury, he's listed as doubtful, so it doesn't look like he's going to play. So LaMarcus Joyner for the Rams with an ankle injury, and he's pretty much doubtful as well. So, yeah, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I got the Rams winning this one as well. 14-10 is going to be my final score. So, yeah, you pretty much touched on everything. So let's move on to our next 425 matchup.
Before I do, I forgot to mention the series history. The 49ers won that earlier meeting. So 49ers now lead the all-time series 66-64 with 3 ties. And this is going to be the first time they're going to be meeting in Los Angeles since 1994. And the 49ers won that 34-19. You want to know the last time we had the LA Rams, the last time they won a home game against the San Francisco 49ers as the Los Angeles Rams, you got to go all the way back to 1986, 16-13. That was the final score. Every year since 87, from 87 until the final meeting in 94, the 49ers pretty much made themselves at home at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles. But I got a feeling the buck's going to end here. So the buck's going to stop here. So, oh boy, mercifully that one's over. Now let's move on to a more significant matchup. And this was originally oh God, Bullock. Okay. All right, let's move on here. Originally, this next game was supposed to be a 1:00 game, but they flex scheduled it to 4:25, and it benefits us because we're actually going to get this game on our Fox affiliate, so this should be a good one. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up against the New Orleans Saints at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. This game's going to be broadcast on Fox, and on the call for Fox, it'll be Kenny Albert with Daryl Moose Johnston and Laura Oakman. They'll be in New Orleans for the Bucs and the Saints. And the series history, of course, they just met very recently. They met a couple of weeks ago in Tampa Bay. And it was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who actually picked up the win at Raymond James Stadium. And I remember very vividly Bullock and I keeping a close eye on that game during a very special night out we had with our special friends a couple of weeks ago. That was just 2 short weeks ago in Tampa. Back on just 2 weeks ago on the 11th of this month, the Buccaneers won it by a score of 16-11, and what a big win that was for the Bucs. And the series history, New Orleans still leads the all-time series, but their lead has now been cut down to 30-19 after that Buck win in Tampa. It was the first time they had beaten the Saints at home since 2011. So a four-year losing streak to the Saints at home snapped. Bucks won in New Orleans last year. That's a good omen. Buccaneers won in New Orleans 26-19 in the Dome last year, snapping a 3 or 4 year losing streak to them. That was a 4 as well, because the Saints, were owning the Bucks before. But Saints last beat the Bucks at home 2014, 37-31 overtime, 5-star classic shootout. So, yeah, I'm trying to think here. I believe you lead off on this one, Bullock. So,
Yeah, I do.
okay. All right. I wanted to be sure. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints. Saints are pretty much done when it comes to postseason, but the Bucks, I mean, they're still hanging in there. I mean, they're right there with Atlanta in the NFC South, and a tough loss for them last Sunday night against the Cowboys in Jerry World. So, can they rebound from that? Can they go into the dome for the second year in a row and steal one?
Yeah, I think they can rebound. Yeah, it was a tough loss for them last week against the Dallas Cowboys because they were down big in that game, and then they came back and eventually took the lead, but they ended up losing. So, yeah, I do see them bouncing back. Of course, Gerald McCoy has a foot injury. He's listed as questionable for the Saints. Of course, Donnell Ellerbe with a foot injury, John Kuhn with a hip injury, and center Max Unger with a foot injury, and they're listed as questionable. So, yeah, so I basically have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this one. My final score, I'm going to say, I'm going to go, I'm going to go 28-20 is going to be my final score. Jameis Winston, I think, will have a solid game. Whether it's, I say both with his arms and his legs. I think Doug Martin will have a solid game as well. Evans, I think, will have a solid game. So, yeah, there's really nothing more to say except give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and fire up those cannons out there in Tampa Bay. Florio, it's yours.
Well, that only works if the game's in Tampa, Bullock. So that's all I can say on that. But yeah, getting into my thoughts on this one. Tampa Bay had their chances on Sunday night, frankly, thanks to Jason Garrett's coaching, but that was a tough loss for them to handle as they are fighting to hang on in the NFC playoff race. They will stay on the road and take on a Saints team that just cranked out a nice victory over the Cardinals in Arizona. And we know that they are always a tough team at home. These two only played 2 weeks ago with the Buccaneers coming out on top. But I think you're going to see some revenge here. So I'm actually going to disagree with you respectfully, Bullock, because I got the New Orleans Saints actually winning this game. I'm going to say my final score here is going to be 27-24 in favor of the New Orleans Saints in the Dome, because I think Drew Brees is going to have a humongous game here. I really do. I mean, did you see that game against Arizona? I mean, my goodness. I mean, that was a 5-star classic, Shakespearean drama at its finest. I mean, if you like offense as much as Bullock and I do, I mean, Bullock and I, we love our offense. Michael Fletcher, on the other hand, he was probably like, no, I want to see a low-scoring game. Well, oh, no, you didn't get that. New Orleans went into Arizona and cranked one out, 48-41. Yeah, that's right. I said it, 48-41. New Orleans in Arizona stole one and pretty much killed the Cardinals' playoff hopes, and that pretty much eliminated them from contention. Saints are going nowhere either, but I think with Drew Brees and that massive arm of his, I mean, especially after that humongous game he had against Arizona in the desert, I don't see any reason why he can't have a big game here. Don't get me wrong. I think Jameis Winston's going to have a big game for Tampa. I think Doug Martin's going to play well and Mike Evans in the receiving corps. But I just think the Saints right now are the better team. And, Tampa's the better team. But I just got this feeling about New Orleans in the Dome. So I'm going to go with the Saints. I'm going to go with the Saints to win it, mainly behind Brees, Ingram, and Cooks. Should be a good one. My final score, 27-24. New Orleans wins at home. Should be a great one. One of our top games of the week for sure. Looking forward to it. So, all right. Now we're going to move on to our final 425 matchup. And this should be another good one right here. We got the Arizona Cardinals going up against the Seattle Seahawks at CenturyLink Field in Seattle, the 12th man. This game's going to be broadcast on Fox, and it's going to be Kevin Burkhardt with John Lynch and Pam Oliver. They'll be there, and the spread. I forgot to mention New Orleans is a 3 to 3.5 point favorite against the Bucks, and Seattle is a 7.5 to 8 point favorite against Arizona. That doesn't surprise anybody. And the series history, they're still tied. It was 17-17 tie going into their game 2 months ago. And oh my gosh, what happened 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, on October the 23rd in the desert. I mean, oh my God, did we really witness what we witnessed on that night? Did we really witness that? That was, oh my God, that was a poor excuse of the game right there. I mean, that thing that was a damn near snoozer. 6-6 in overtime. Wake me when it's over. I mean, that's exactly what I kept saying to myself that night. Wake me when this is over. I mean, this is painfully boring. But it was the Seattle. It was and field goal kickers. It was not a good night for kickers. Steven Hauschka was missing kicks. Chandler Catanzaro was missing kicks. They were missing kicks from chip shot range, for goodness sakes. I mean, my Lord. But it's 17-17 with a tie. So hopefully somebody will take the series history lead come tomorrow. Last meeting in Seattle was last year, and the Cardinals won in what was a much better game. It was a 5-star classic of a game. Arizona won it 39-32 on a Sunday night. Seattle last win at home was 2014. That was a 19-3 win. So I believe I start this one off. And Arizona's faint playoff hopes got killed on Sunday with a disappointing home loss to the Saints. So now their goal is to play some sort of spoiler against the Seahawks, likely in trying to keep them from a bye. I'm not that confident that they can go on the road and take out a team that is yet to lose this season at CenturyLink Field. So I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks to win. My final score, 30-20. Seattle wins. Russell Wilson, big game. Jermaine Kearse, Doug Baldwin, Jimmy Graham, and the rest of that unit, big games for them as well. Thomas Rawls in the running game. I think the Legion of Boom is going to have another solid game here. I think they'll fluster Carson Palmer, and they'll fluster David Johnson and Larry Fitzgerald. But in the end, though, Seattle's going to be just too much. I got the Seabags winning this one. My final score, 30-20. So, Michael Bullock, let's bring you back in. Arizona and Seattle. I think this game should be a lot better than that snooze fest of a game we had 2 months ago in the desert. Bullock, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay. Arizona and Seattle, your thoughts?
All right, let me just pull it up quickly. Yeah, I had the wrong button there. So, yeah, getting to the injury report, of course, starting with the Cardinals. Of course, we already know Tyrann Mathieu is he's done for the season. He's put on IR. So, and John Brown, of course, has an illness. He's listed as questionable, and Marcus Cooper with a back injury, he's out. So, and the only one out for the Seahawks is CJ Prosise. So, yeah, I mean, of course, the Seahawks. I mean, Seahawks and Cardinals. I mean, that's a rivalry game that I like, and the Cardinals, of course, they've been a disappointing team this season. Of course, coming off an appearance in the NFC Championship game. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seattle Seahawks to win this one. My final is going to be 35-14 is going to be my final score. That defense of the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, is going to be all over the Cardinals. So give me the Seahawks to win. So Florio, it's yours.
All right. Let's get into a rare Saturday night game. We had a rare Saturday night game. Well, we had one last week with the Dolphins and the Jets, and but we got another one here, and as it will be the Cincinnati Bengals squaring off against the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium in Houston, formerly Reliant Stadium down there. This game's going to be broadcast on the NFL Network, and according to my notes here.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's only NFL Network.
Yeah, only on the NFL Network. No tie into NBC or CBS or anything. On the NFL Network, and And on the call for this game, it'll be Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon. They will be in Houston for the Bengals and the Texans, according to my notes here. The spread favors the Houston Texans by only 1. It's a 1-point spread for Houston. Series is tied 4-4. They met a year ago in Cincinnati, and the Houston Texans stole that one by a score of 10-6. 2014 was the last meeting in Houston, and the Bengals won that one 22-13. Texans last beat the Colts. They last beat the Bengals at home, rather, in a wild card playoff game back in January of 2013. The Texans won it 19-13. And then they won a playoff game the year before, 31-10. Their last regular season home win against the Bengals was all the way back in 2008. That was a 35-6 beatdown. So 4-4, the series history for the Bengals and the Texans, and I don't remember. I believe it's you, Bullock, who starts this one off. I believe so.
Yep, that is correct.
All right. So Cincinnati Bengals, Houston Texans, Bengals. Well, Bengals, they were the Bungles. I mean, they had things well in hand against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and oh boy, they
coughed it up.
They coughed it away, and how about the Houston Texans, man? I mean, Houston definitely putting a bit of a stranglehold on the South a little bit, although they got Tennessee nipping at their heels, and how about the young man out of Rutgers by the name of Tom Macho Man Savage? Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Tom Savage. We got a new Macho Man, if you know what I mean. So,
well, he's the Texans Macho Man after what happened last week. So, yeah, of course, it's the injury report. Of course, starting with the Bengals, linebacker Vontaze Burfict with a knee injury, and tight end Tyler Eifert with a back injury. They're listed as out. AJ Green is listed as questionable with a hamstring injury. Jeremy Hill is also questionable with a knee injury. And for the Texans, of course, running back Lamar Miller with an ankle injury, and cornerback Jonathan Joseph with a rib injury. They're listed as questionable. So, yeah. I mean, what about the Texans with that comeback win led by Tom Savage? And I thought he looked really good when he came in replacing Brock Osweiler. And yeah, so yeah, I think with that being said, I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans to win this one. I think it could be a close one. I'm gonna say 27-24 is gonna be my final score. Savage, I think, will have a solid game. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, will have a solid game as well. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to say except give me the Houston Texans to win this one. So, Florio, it's yours.
Ooh, yeah, Macho Man Tom Savage. Thinking, I think he's going to have a big game, yeah. But, in all seriousness, Rutgers legend Tom Savage is now the man with the Texans after another awful performance from Brock Osweiler. And while he played well in relief in the team's comeback victory against Jacksonville, he is also pretty inexperienced. Houston is the better team, but I don't expect a big performance from Savage, so this will be close. But I'm going with the Houston Texans to win this game. My final score, I'm going to go 14-10. The Houston Texans win it. Savage will have a solid game. It'll be just enough for them to crank out a win. Of course, I'm expecting Lamar Miller to play well, Will Fuller, DeAndre Hopkins, and I think the defense will do just enough to get to Andy Dalton and company. So I'm going 14-10, the Houston Texans over the Cincinnati Bengals in Houston on the Saturday nights. So now we're going to move on to oh boy, we're really going to have some fun now. Because coming up next, there's nothing left for me to say except this is right here, the game of the week. I don't care what anybody says. This is the game of the week as far as I'm concerned. and it's the first of our 2 games on Christmas Day or Christmas evening. It's going to be the Baltimore Ravens squaring off against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. A 4:30 kickoff on Christmas Sunday, and this game will be broadcast on the NFL Network as well. And just bear with me for a minute while I try to pull up the necessary information here. I believe Mike Tirico is working this game once again. According to this, it's going to be Mike Tirico with Doug Flutie, and Marty Snyder is going to be on the sideline. He's a NASCAR guy, but he's going to be working this game with Tirico and Flutie, according to my notes. Look up the spread here. The spread favors the Pittsburgh Steelers 5.5 to 6 for Pittsburgh. They met earlier this season. That came back on November 6th in Baltimore, and the Ravens came away with the win. That was a score of 21-14, and that cuts the Pittsburgh lead in the series now down to 21-20. It's 21-20 in favor of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's actually now four in a row. That was actually 4 in a row for the Ravens at home against the Steelers. The Ravens actually won in Pittsburgh last year too. That was a 23-20 overtime win. I think that was on a Thursday night. I think that was the first win. I think that was the Ravens' first win of the 2015 season, as I recall. And Steelers' last home win against the Ravens was in 2014. That was a 43-23 beatdown. So it's only fitting I start this off because this is the Anthony Florio Michael Fletcher game of the week. It's a damn shame MF's not here to, give his thoughts on this because this is our game right here. And what else is there to say? The AFC North race has been sloppy this year, but with a win, the Steelers can knock down the division title and then host a playoff game. They have been playing some very good football of late in winning 5 in a row behind their vaunted offensive trio of Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. The Ravens have been tough to move the ball on, but here on the road, I'm not sure they will be able to keep the Steelers at bay. So with that said, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers to win our game of the week here and win the AFC North yet again. My final score, 28-21. Pittsburgh wins it. You already know who I think is going to have big games. Roethlisberger, big game. Bell, big game. Brown, big game. They'll get some payback against the Ravens for that demoralizing loss on November 6th. Even though I think Flacco's going to play well, the running game needs work. Steve Smith and Mike Wallace and Dennis Pitta should all have solid games at best, but I just think the Steelers, with the way they're going right now, I think they're going to be a tough out. And this is a team you do not want to see in January. Believe me, you don't. So, and hey, they're playing like that team that Michael Fletcher said was going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. You remember back in our preview show, MF said, I remember it very vividly. He said, I got Pittsburgh going to the Super Bowl in the AFC. They keep playing like they do, they just may get there. They really can. But they got to keep it cranking. So nothing left for me to say here. 28-21, Pittsburgh over Baltimore. Give them the AFC North titles. So, Michael Bullock, our game of the week right here. Ravens, Steelers, AFC North supremacy on the line. Merry Christmas, indeed.
Oh, yeah. It is a Merry Christmas for all the fans in the National Football League that's going to be getting this game. And, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. I mean, well, of course, with the injuries, Steve Smith for the Ravens with a thigh injury is listed as questionable. And, yeah, and, of course, for the Steelers, of course, wide receiver Sammy Coates with a hamstring and Ladarius Green with a concussion are listed as doubtful. And defensive end Stephen Tuitt with a knee injury. And wide receiver Darius Haywood-Bay with a foot injury. They're listed as questionable. So, yeah, a rivalry game I'm really going to enjoy as well. So, Yeah, I got Pittsburgh winning this one. My final score 31 to 24. It's going to be my final score. So yeah, Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, and the rest of that Steelers offense will have a solid game. So that being said, let's move on to another rivalry game. This in the AFC West on Christmas, on a special Christmas Day edition of Sunday Night Football.
On Christmas night, in the usual time slot. Oh yeah, this is the number 2 game of the week as far as I'm concerned. This is the Michael Bullock game right here. You and Derek Ferreira here. Should be a good one here, man. You guys got a good one here. The Denver Broncos going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Of course, calling the game for NBC. It'll be, well, we'll see if he's there. Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya. They will be at Arrowhead for the Broncos and the Chiefs. And the Chiefs are the favorites. They're favored by 3 to 3.5. They met last month, Thanksgiving weekend, back on November the 27th. A wild and crazy game. One of the very best NFL games of the year. I mean, this game was 5 stars, chock full of some of the finest Shakespearean drama you will ever see in Denver. And the Kansas City Chiefs came away with a 30 to 27 overtime win. I mean, they were just seconds away from a tie. So, but the Chiefs pulled it out thanks to Cairo Santos and his field goal that won it. 30-27 in overtime. Back on Thanksgiving weekend, like I said, and now the series history favors the it actually still favors the Kansas City Chiefs, and then now you can add another one to that, so it's now 58 to 54 in favor of Kansas City. They split both meetings last year. Both teams won on the road. Denver won in Kansas City. Kansas City won in Denver. So let's see. The last time the Chiefs won at home against the Broncos, you got to go back to 2010. That was a 10-6 final for Kansas City. Other than that, Denver has won in Kansas City each of the last 5 years, including last year. Who'll ever forget last year on a Thursday night, week 2, last year on a Thursday night, 31-24. Denver won it on a scoop and score. It was a scoop and score on a fumble, a late fumble with like seconds to go, and Denver stole one in Kansas City a year ago. So AFC West implications aplenty on the line. Michael Bullock, as you started off, I mean, I know you and Derek will be all over this one. So Broncos and Chiefs, man, on Christmas night, as if Christmas Day couldn't get better enough with a great Ravens Steeler game here as the appetizer. You're getting a main course here. So Broncos and Chiefs, my man. What do you think about it?
Oh, this is another one I'll definitely be looking forward to. Yeah, you could say this pretty much not just the main course, but you could also call it the dessert as well. No doubt about it. Since there'll be many people probably still celebrating. Of course, injury report. Of course, both of their tight ends, AJ Derby and Virgil Green, both sustaining concussions and both are out. Same thing with Brandon Marshall with the linebacker Brandon Marshall with a hamstring injury. He won't be playing in this game, and TJ Ward with a concussion as well. He's out as well. So, and defensive end Derek Wolfe with a back injury is listed as questionable, and Justin Houston is listed as questionable with a knee injury. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. I mean, Denver, they're basically struggling to keep their playoff hopes alive. Of course, Kansas City is trying to keep pace in the race for the AFC West, so there's really nothing more to say. I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning this one. My final score is going to be 38-20 is going to be my final score. Alex Smith's going to have a big game. I think Spencer Ware's going to have a big game on the ground. Travis Kelce, I think, will have a big game. Same thing with Jeremy Maclin. Defense, if led by Tama Holly and Justin Houston. If Houston does play, well, makes a big play. So, yeah, so there's really nothing more to say except let's move on to our last game, and it's the season finale of Monday Night Football.
And what a way for them to go out with one hell of a matchup here. What a game this is going to be. We got the Detroit Lions squaring off against the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, Jerry World, as we affectionately know it. Monday Night Football, ESPN, you know who's working it. Sean McDonough with John Gruden and Lisa Salters for the final time this year. And what a way for them to go out, like I said. I mean, it should be a great matchup here. The spread favors the Dallas Cowboys. 6.5 to 7 is the spread. Although, actually, hold on. I actually have to give you my thoughts on Sunday Night Football. Like I said, long day for me, but well worth it. Trust me, it was worth it. Just in case their little locker room skirmish didn't make it clear enough, the Broncos have lost their last two and have lost their last 2 and 3 of their last 4, and now basically have to win out to get to the playoffs. Kansas City is still in pretty good shape, but they failed to close out the Titans and ultimately lost at home on Sunday. Look for Denver's defense to keep them in it, as they always do, but the Kansas City offense will do just enough for the victory. So I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs to win this game as well. My final score, 20-13. In favor of Kansas City, behind Alex Smith, Sharkandrick West, Spencer Ware, Travis Kelce, Jeremy Maclin. They should do just enough. Simeon should be fine. And Booker and Sanders and Thomas. But ultimately, I got KC winning it. So my final score is 20-13. So now let's move on to Monday Night Football with the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, Sean McDonough with John Gruden and Lisa Salters. Dallas, like I said, it's the favorite. 6.5 to 7 is the spread. Series history favors the Dallas Cowboys by a margin of only 12-11. Their last meeting came in a very controversial. It was the wild card playoff game in Dallas in January of 2015. The Cowboys won it 24-20. A lot of bad officiating in that game, as I recall. A lot of controversial moments in that one. But Dallas, picked up the win 24-20. Many felt Detroit should have won that game. I'm one of them, but it is what it is. Last meeting in Dallas in the regular season was 2011, and believe it or not, the Lions came in and stole one, 34-30. Cowboys last beat the Lions at home in 2010. That was a 35-19 win, not counting the playoff game, of course. So 12-11 in favor of the Dallas Cowboys, who last night, thanks to the Giants' loss to Philadelphia, the Dallas Cowboys have now won the NFC East, and they have also locked up home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. And the road to Super Bowl 51 in Houston will go through Jerry World, AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So, all right. It wasn't that long ago that the Lions were in position to potentially get a bye in the playoffs, but now they are in legitimate danger of missing out entirely after a tough loss in the Meadowlands against the Giants. And then they have a tough road game here in the Metroplex. And then they close out at home against the surging Green Bay Packers. Dallas has already won the home field advantage after surviving the Buccaneers last Sunday night. Look for the Lions to give them a fight, but I think the powerful rushing attack of the Cowboys will grind their visitors down. So I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys to win this game. My final score, 23-17. Big game from Dak Prescott. Big game from Ezekiel Elliott. Big game from Dez Bryant and solid games from Jason Witten, Cole Beasley, and Terrence Williams. Matthew Stafford will play well. Marvin Jones Jr. I think Marvin Jones will have a big game. Golden Tate, big game. I don't know how Riddick's doing. I know he's been battling an injury bug. I know Bullock's going to have more on that in just a minute with the injury report. So really nothing left for me to say here. I got the Cowboys winning. My final score, 23-17, should be a great one on Monday night as we recover from all of the Christmas mayhem, from the food and the presents and all that good stuff. So, all right, Bullock, Lions, Cowboys, Monday Night Football season finale. Your thoughts on another one of our top games of the week?
Yeah, this is definitely a great way for Monday Night Football to finish off their season with a big game like this. And yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I mean, Dallas, like you said, is now locked up the NFC East title, home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and yeah, I mean, this is basically a must-win game for the Detroit Lions. I mean, looked like they were a lock to get in, but who knows? Now they could possibly miss out on it, but they really need this win. But I got to go with the Dallas Cowboys to win this one as well. 27-24 is going to be my final score. Uh, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Des Bryant, they'll all have big games, so there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on to our newest installment of the NFL Power Rankings.
Yes, indeed. And I'll say it like this: when it comes to the power rankings for this week, my top two were no brainers. I'll say it like that. My numbers 1 and 2 were no brainers.
Yeah, 3 through 10 is going to be a tough thing.
A chore. Let's just say it like that. It's going to be a chore. And that's all there is to say about that. And all right. There are some teams that will take hits and others that will move up based on certain events. Close losses played a role in it as well. So I'm going to start it off at number 10, and this is an easy number 10 for me. No doubt about this. I got to go with the Indianapolis Colts at number 10. I mean, after what they did against the Minnesota Vikings, I mean, pounding them 34-6 at U.S. Bank Stadium. I mean, that was a big win for them, no question about it. And, keeps them within a game of Houston and Tennessee in the South. They got a very tough game against the Raiders coming up, and then their season finale after that, which I believe is against bear with me for a minute. It's against Jacksonville. They're at home against Jacksonville. So this is their final road game of the year in Oakland. I don't like their chances in that one. Raiders have been playing of late, and Jacksonville. Yeah, I see them beating Jacksonville. I just don't see them beating Oakland, though. I think it's going to be a 500 year for Indy. They're probably going to just miss out on the postseason. So really nothing left for me to say here except my number 10 is the Indianapolis Colts. So both do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, I agree with you. I got to go with the Indianapolis Colts as my number 10 as well. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. So I say let's move on to our number 9.
Number 9. And, yeah, okay. I just wanted to be sure. I did forget to mention an honorable mention, and that honorable mention is my Buffalo Bills. They're 500, but look who they beat, for goodness sakes. They beat the Cleveland Browns. I mean, come on. You're not going to get brownie points for beating the Browns. I mean, yeah, you beat them decisively, but no. Beat the Miami Dolphins at home on tomorrow, and then, oh, yeah, so you'll most definitely be in. But I need to see a little more from you boys. I'm sorry to say. So they're my honorable mention. They're on the outside looking in, if you will. So all right. I believe I have another honorable mention, and that other honorable mention is the Baltimore Ravens. Need to see a little more from them. They narrowly escaped the Philadelphia Eagles 27-26. Pittsburgh, if they go into Pittsburgh and win, no doubt they're in next week. But we'll see what happens. And then they got Cincinnati as well. So at Pittsburgh and at Cincinnati, two very tough games for the Ravens when it comes to their schedule. So that's really all I can say on that. So now we move on to, let's see, number 9 now. And I'm going to do all right, my number 9, no question about this one. I got the Houston Texans. I'm going with the Houston Texans as my number 9. They've won 2 in a row. They're currently tied with Tennessee for the lead in the AFC South. Yeah, the win. It was a win against. They beat Jacksonville, but it was not a pretty win. It was not an easy win at all. They won 21-20. They have Cincinnati, of course, tomorrow night, and then they end the year in Nashville against Tennessee. And that game determine who will come out of the AFC South. So very tough game indeed coming up on that. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. I mean, that's gonna be a great one. I can't wait to see Houston and Tennessee go at it. So, but nonetheless, Houston Texans, they're my number 9. So, Bullock, how about it?
Yes, I agree with you again. Houston Texans are my number 9 as well. So that being said, let's keep it up. Let's keep it going with number 8.
Number 8. Okay. Like I said, this list does not get easier. It does not get any easier. Trust me, it does not. Number 8. Yeah, this is going to be very tough. I mean, I am not going to lie. This is very, very tough stuff here. But like I said, 1 and 2 were absolute no-brainers. But the 3 through 10 is a chore. I mean, the first 2, as I looked at it, were definitely easy. And but now this is where it's going to get very dicey because we got a lot of teams playing some good balls here. There's going to be quite a few ties here. So with that being said, my number 8 is actually going to be well, we had 3 losing teams this week. Three of our top 5 teams actually went down, but they all lost very closely. And I gotta be all right. You know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there. My number 8, I gotta go with I gotta punish this team. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. I gotta drop the Chiefs down to 8 after that disappointing loss against Tennessee. That was a game that they, in all honesty and with all due respect, they should have won. But they really could have put a stranglehold on the West, but they gagged it away. They lost 19-17 to Tennessee, and their body of work is still good enough for them to be in it. And tough game against Denver on Christmas night, but I think they'll ultimately win it. And then they got to go to San Diego against the Chargers. So that's really all I can say on that. So my number 8, no question about it. It is the Kansas City Chiefs. Although I think I should have had a tie here, but no, I think I'm just going to keep that number right. I think I'm going to do a standalone 8. So Bullock, is that all right with you? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree with you. Kansas City Chiefs, they're my number 8 as well after that tough loss to the Tennessee Titans. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on to number 7.
7. Okay. 7. I think we might have to. This might be another come down here. My number 7. I think I may have to go with a tie here, or unless I should have this team as a standalone number 7. I actually do have a tie at number 7. Another team I'm punishing from last week. That team I'm punishing is the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions losing to the New York Giants, but they only lost by 3, so that's not too bad at all. But they didn't. Well, actually, no. I stand corrected. They actually lost. You know what? Stand corrected. They're actually my dud of the week. I actually do not have the Detroit Lions in my power rankings after what happened against the Giants. I mean, they lost. I mean, they let the Giants manhandle them, for goodness sakes, 17-6, and so they're out of my power rankings. I forgot about that. So, well, that being said, it definitely makes things a little easier, although it's still a little dicey. But we'll navigate the waters here. My number 7. This is where I'm going to have. This is going to be a tie here, and it's 2 teams representing the Sunshine State of Florida. Michael Fletcher's Miami Dolphins, and the other, I'm punishing them, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Miami Dolphins have won 2 in a row, 9-5. You remember they had that gritty win against Arizona in the rain, and then they went into the Jets on last Saturday night, and they absolutely pounded the Jets 34-13 behind 4 touchdown passes by Matt Moore. At Buffalo tomorrow, and then New Year's Day they're at home against the Patriots, and we'll see if that game has any significance to it. We'll see. It could. It may not, but you never know. I'm actually hoping for the former on that one. I really want to see some significance when it comes to that matchup. So the Miami Dolphins are my first number 7, and my other number 7, got to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, punishing them. Tough loss to the Dallas Cowboys. They only lost, I believe, by 5. Actually, it was 6, 26-20. They got to go to New Orleans against the Saints, and then they got the Carolina Panthers coming in. Couple of tough games left. We'll see what Tampa Bay is made of during that time. But so that's all I can say there. So number 7's Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bullock, how about it?
Yeah, Miami Dolphins, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're my number 7s as well. So let's move on to number 6.
Number 6, and all right, let's see who we have here. Okay. And I also want to remind you folks that you fine folks out there that these rankings are retroactive to the previous weeks. So I do want to let you know that. So let me see. I definitely have them going back in the top 5. Okay. Number 6. I think this might be a standalone. Let me just check in and be sure. Just want to just quickly check in and make sure that I have this right before I do anything else. Ooh. Okay. For number 6. Yeah. After looking at this very carefully, there might be some standalones here. Not quite sure. I just have to look at the body of work. Oh yeah, we got to put them up there. They're playing really good. Yeah, trust me, this does not get any easier. Believe me, it doesn't. There's definitely going to be another tie. I don't know if this is where the tie is going to be. Actually, this is going to be a standalone here. Now that I think about it, and this will be a standalone here. At number 6, I had this team at number 6, but I'm going to keep them there. I'm not going to move them up or down because they had a so-so performance. But I'm going to keep them there. Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders are my number 6. They barely got by the San Diego Chargers, 19-16. I wanted to see a little more out of them. They got the Colts coming in tomorrow, and then they got to go to Denver against the Broncos. I mean, tough one indeed, but the Raiders have regained first place in the AFC West. I mean, after how things worked out for them, they had that tough loss to Kansas City on Thursday night a couple weeks ago. We weren't sure how they were going to recover from that, but and actually, I have a tie at number 6. Now that I think about it, Oakland is one of them. That's I'm not going to deny that Oakland is one of them, and my other number 6 is the Seattle Seahawks back in the power rankings. I didn't have them in there last week because of that horrific performance against the Packers, but they rebounded nicely. They took care of business against the Los Angeles Rams like they were supposed to. 24-3, easy win. Arizona comes in tomorrow, and then they got to go to San Francisco after that. I think they'll win both of those games, and I think they'll probably wind up with the number 2 seed in the NFC. And now I know what happened to Michael Fletcher. He was out with friends tonight. He went to see a movie tonight, so that's where he was. So, all right. So with that being said, tie at number 6, Oakland Raiders, Seattle Seahawks, the former division rivals. So what do you say, Bullet?
Yeah, well, what did you say was your number 6s?
Oakland and Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I have as well. Oakland and Seattle. They're my number 6s as well. So yeah, so I say we move on to the top 5 now.
And I have yet another tie, and this will be the last one. Yeah, this is definitely going to be this will definitely be the last tie, no question about it. Okay, it'll get easier after that. Trust me, it will. My co-number 5s, the New York Giants and the Atlanta Falcons. New York Giants, Atlanta Falcons, co-number 5s. I had the Giants at 5, but I'm going to keep them there. Yeah, they beat the Lions. They won 7. I believe it was like 17-6. I believe. I kind of wanted to see a little more from them, but they still got it done though. And but they did lose to Philadelphia Thursday night, and while that does not play into these particular rankings, it will come into play next week. I think they'll still be in it, but they're going to have to take a bump, no doubt about it. Plus, you got some teams that are on hot streaks right now, and they just got back on track after that loss to I believe it was Pittsburgh, and they took full advantage of it. They got the win against the Lions, so they lost to Philly. They got Washington next, and we'll see if they can get in the postseason. So that's that. So that's the first number 5, and my other number 5. It's the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons back in the top 5. 41-13 beatdown of the San Francisco 49ers last Sunday in the Georgia Dome. They go to Carolina tomorrow, and then they got the Saints coming in for the finale. The stars are aligning. They have a 1-game lead over Tampa Bay in the NFC South. With a win and a Bucs loss, the Falcons will clinch the NFC South. So, it was all about the offense. Ryan had a huge game, 286 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was the Devontae Freeman show. 139 yards, 3 touchdowns in the win. Very impressive. And the defense had 2 sacks of Colin Kaepernick. So very dominant performance against a very piss-poor team in the Niners. So co-number 5's final tie of the night. New York Giants, Atlanta Falcons. Bullock, your number 5.
Yeah, I got the Giants and the Falcons as my number 5 as well. So let's move on to number 4.
All right, and my number 4, easy call here, Green Bay Packers. They've won 4 in a row. Yeah, they're only 8-6. I get it, but the fact is they've won 4 in a row. They're back. we're back to vintage Packer football here. Yeah, they only won 30-27 against Chicago, but the way they did it though, they came back and and they've done well during this 4-game winning streak. They won in Philadelphia on a Monday night, then they won at home against Houston, pounded Seattle, and now this game against Chicago, big one here. They got it done. They got Minnesota coming in, and then they go to Detroit. I got them winning the North. I really do, because I think they're going to beat Minnesota tomorrow. And then that game at Detroit, I think they can win that one, honestly, but the way they've been playing and the whole 9 yards, and really love their body of work right now. So there's really nothing left for me to say. My number 4, Green Bay Packers. So Bullock, number 4.
You said the Green Bay Packers are your number 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I got them as my number 4 as well. So yeah. So let's move on to number 3.
And I'll start it off. My number 3 is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've won 5 in a row, 9-5, lead the North. Huge game against the Ravens on Christmas night, Christmas twilight time, Christmas evening, 4:30 on the NFL Network. With a win, they will win the division, and I think they're going to do it. And then they got the Browns coming in, which could be a meaningless game. So yeah, I mean, this is not who you want to see in January. And Michael Fletcher, like I said, he said it during our preview. He said that he has this team going to the Super Bowl in the AFC, and I'm sure he probably still feels that way. So really nothing left for me to say here. Winners of 5 in a row and deserve to be in the top 3, no doubt about it. Pittsburgh Steelers. So, Bullock, what do you think? Bullock?
Oh yeah, I'm right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
My number 3 is the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. So yeah. So let's move on to number 2.
And my number 2 is the Dallas Cowboys. Got back on track. They knocked off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 26-20 after that very tough loss to the Giants the week before. They got the Lions coming in Monday night, and then they got to go to Philadelphia against the Eagles for the final game. And nice bounce back after that very tough loss to the G-Men the previous week, snapping that 11-game winning streak. I mean, they can beat everybody else, but they just cannot beat the Giants. And I'm sure they're very grateful to the Philadelphia Eagles for beating them. And because of that, they now have everything. They've won the NFC East, and they now have the home field advantage throughout the NFC playoffs. And I know Jerry Jones and company could not be any more delighted. So that's really all I can say on that. So we'll see how they play out the next couple of games now that they have everything wrapped up. So with that said, number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Michael Bullock, I'm sure you agree with that.
Yep, Dallas Cowboys are my number 2. So that being said, let's move on to number 1.
And I wonder who it could be. Oh yeah, it's the New England Patriots. Who else? Winners of 5 in a row, 12-2. Another division championship. I mean, they've been doing this every year since 2009. I mean, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's 8 in a row. Went into Denver, absolutely pounded the Broncos to a pulp, 16-3. And they got the Jets coming in. They should win that one, no problem. The Miami one, I do have some concerns with, but we'll see what happens. But the way they went into Denver, man, I mean, they had revenge on their mind, and boy, howdy did they get it. They got it in a big way. I mean, the defense, 4 sacks and an interception of Trevor Siemian. Brady did nothing. He was non-existent. Deion Lewis, 95 yards rushing. And it was a LeGarrette Blount rushing touchdown, 31 yards, and then 4 sacks for that defense. Logan Ryan and Well, actually, no, it was Jabal Sheard, Malcolm Brown, and 2 for Trey Flowers. And then Logan Ryan with an interception, 46 yards on the return. So we had that epic championship game in January. And I do mean epic, but that game we saw on this past Sunday was anything but. That game was an absolute dud, absolute snoozer. But New England, they've done it again. They got everything wrapped up. Well, just about everything. They've won the division. They still have home field to get through. They got the division. They got the first round bye. With a win and a Raider loss on Sunday, they will get the home field throughout the playoffs. So, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think it will come down to that Miami game next week. So, it's just how I feel. So, number one, yet again, the New England Patriots. Bullock, take it home.
Yep, the New England Patriots are my number one as well. So, yeah, so that being said, let's put a bow on this edition of Strictly Sports NFL Friday.
We're going to do with our shout outs. Michael Bullock, you start it off, and I'll set it up. I'll set up the content from there.
Yeah, of course, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or the or Ridiculously Raw or the Cerebral Smack Talk. We really appreciate it. We thank you so very much for tuning in tonight, of course. Shout outs to the first lady of our wrestling forum, Dee Dee Woodson, and of course to Kevin Woodson, the rest of the Woodson family, and our other super fans, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, and of course our friends from high school days, Al Bredderson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the first lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler, of course to Megan Silva as well, of course to Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight, of course. Shout out to Derek Ferreira as well, and of course all of our local personalities, of course from 6, 10, and 12. Of course, our personalities from ESPN, Fox Sports, NFL Network, MLB Network, NBA TV, and the rest of that great, all the great crew there. And of course, our friends from the Roadshow, of course, Will Gilbert, Brendan Kirby, and Michaela Johnson, our past co-hosts, Mary Larson and Megan Mooney. So, and of course, I want to take this opportunity to wish everyone out there a very Merry Christmas out there. Hope all of you enjoy not just Christmas Eve tomorrow, but of course Christmas Day as well. Of course, Christmas is the most beautiful holiday of the year, and it's not just about the presents and all that good stuff. It's about family. So hopefully all of you have a great Merry Christmas, and of course stay safe out there, and don't do anything stupid that's going to land you in the Naga Diva category. And of course, I want to wish Merry Christmas to Derek Ferreira, to Michael Fletcher, and of course, most importantly, to you, Anthony Florio, and your family. Hope you enjoy your day on Sunday.
We will.
Yeah. So Merry Christmas, everybody. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, this is Mike Bullock saying thank you all so very much for tuning in. And of course, you know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it a Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. And once again, have a very Merry Christmas, everybody. Florio, it's yours.
Well said, Bullock. Well said. And I'll get to all that in just a minute. But before I do, special shout out to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to make our shows as over as they are. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. 76 views for our Roblox recap show from the other night. That's amazing. So very grateful for that. Special shout out, of course, to our crew. Of course, starting off with the first lady of the wrestling forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. Special shout out to her and her family, Kevin, husband Kevin, and the kids. Of course, Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, Daniela Chuck in the UK. Our other first ladies, Megan Silva, Kaiser Butler, and Lexi Calloway. Our other friends, Tommy Souza, Jimmy Alden, Albert Edison, Eric Carrier, and Rob Parsons. And of course, Derek Ferreira, and of course, good old MF Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us tonight. I mean, not happy about that. I mean, I really wanted him to be here tonight. Really wanted to get his thoughts on those big games, especially the Buddy Bowl game, and of course, the game that we're going to be getting into on Sunday, the Ravens and the Steelers. So, well, hopefully we'll have him on Monday night for Ridiculously Raw. So, but a special shout out to MF anyway. Of course, all of our personalities from 6, 10, and 12, and the whole 9 yards. ESPN, NHL Network, FS1, MLB Network, NBA TV, NFL Network, the whole 9 yards. Everybody over there, all the hardworking men and women on that. Of course, all of our other personalities some of our other personalities out there: Julie Mpeg Soda from WPRI 12, Stata Sorrell, Lindsey McCormick, Julie Alexandria, Amanda Borges from the New York Rangers, and our friends from the Road Show, Megan Mooney and Mary Larson, along with Will Gilbert, Michaela Johnson, and Brendan Kirby, and Stata Sorrell and Lindsey McCormick. Can't forget about them. And last but not least, my wonderful church family at Oasis of Grace Ministries on 464 Silver Spring Street in Providence. Boy, I wish you could have been with us tonight, because we had a very beautiful Christmas service, a special Christmas candlelight service tonight. Probably the most beautiful service I've been to. I mean, in the almost 2 years I've been going there, I mean, just amazing. It was a special night with special people, and I'll never forget it. So it's definitely going up there. And before I give you my featured content, let me just say it like this: when it comes to Christmas, like Bullock said, the first Christmas was in a manger, and they did all right. And Christmas isn't about presents or Santa Claus or the dinner with all the trimmings and all that. You know what it's about? It's about a feeling. It's about people. It's about us forgetting about our problems and reaching out to help other people. Christmas doesn't have to happen in one certain place. It happens in our hearts. So if you think about it, you can have Christmas anywhere. Whether you're with home, whether you're at your own home or going to somebody else's house, it doesn't matter. Christmas is the most beautiful family holiday of the year. Bullock simply put it, and I only wish you could have been with us at our service tonight. It was simply amazing. Probably one of the most beautiful and emotional services I've ever been a part of. They just continue to get better and better, man. And I hope you'll all come down one day and see it for yourself. Exit 25 off Route 95 in Providence. You need a church home, check them out. No Sunday service on Sunday, of course, because it's Christmas. So there'll be no Wednesday. We're not going to be doing any Wednesday Bible study this upcoming Wednesday. That won't resume until January the 4th. And Sunday service returns on New Year's Day. So that's all there is to it. So other things going on. So that's it for that. And of course, future content. Of course, we're off for the weekend for Christmas Eve and Christmas, of course. And Monday we'll be back with you for Ridiculously Raw. I'll be here. Bullock will be here. Hopefully, MF will be here. We'll review the final Monday Night Raw 2016 as we now trek on the road to the Royal Rumble. Then on Tuesday at 10:30, we got the Cerebral Smack Talk with MF on his channel, Braves Fan 95. And I mean, we'll get into SmackDown Live and the whole 9 yards. And of course, also on Ridiculously Raw, we'll review Monday Night Raw, and I'll also review 205 Live. There will be no Impact Wrestling review because Impact Wrestling is in best of mode. So keep that in mind as we go forward. Now, Derek had made an announcement about on the Strictly Sports page. November 29th. Now this was from the desk of him this past Sunday night. A special NFL/college football special on December 29th. On that show, we will preview the New Year's Six game on the Friday, the college football playoff semifinal matchups, week 17, and the rest of the New Year's 6 games. And we will also recap the year in sports and NFL power rankings. It makes sense because the big focus on the 30th will be Ronda Rousey's big UFC return. And yeah, so we're not going to do a show next Friday because of that. So mark your calendars for next Thursday, December 29th, at our usual time. Loaded show. Not just week 17 of the NFL, but we're also going to talk about the New Year's 6. And there will be NFL power rankings as well. And we'll also have our year in review. We'll review some of our favorite moments from the year in sports. I already know 2 that stand out to me. So, but I'll save those for Thursday nights. So, and then no show next Friday because of the big UFC event, which marks the return of Ronda Rousey. So, no doubt about that. So, we're going to take next Friday off for that. So that's on Thursday. So, and then New Year's Eve and day from there. So, all right. So that'll do it for this. So we want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Floyer here for Michael Bullock and in spirit, Michael Fletcher, Dee Woodson, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up what you're for style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Cannot stress that enough, especially with what we're going to have for the next 2 days. And of course, enjoy it all. Enjoy all the NFL action tomorrow, Christmas Eve, whatever you might have going on. And then, of course, Christmas Day on Sunday. Enjoy that most of all. Not just because of the presents or the dinner with all the trimmings and the whole 9 yards, but being with the family and, just having a blessed day with family and friends. It's going to be a great day, and I can't wait for it. So my favorite event of the year, my favorite holiday of the year, and that's all there is to it. So, all right. So until Monday night for Ridiculously Raw, right back here on this channel. You've been watching Strictly Sports NFL Friday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. For now, Anthony Florio, so long and Merry Christmas.